Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we convert research questions into independent and dependent variables and then assign the appropriate levels of measurement. Okay, so in the first question we have, is heart rate recovery time similar for both females and males? Okay, so what is it that we are measuring here? We are measuring heart rate recovery time. So that is the dependent variable. The independent variable is the thing that we believe is going to influence heart rate recovery time, and that is male or female or gender status. Okay, so gender is the independent variable, and we're going to categorize gender as male and female, where male is 0 and female is 1. So that is going to be a nominal variable. Heart rate recovery time is going to be in seconds, and that is going to be a ratio variable because that is time, and 0 or time has an absolute 0. So if you have 0 seconds, or that means no time has elapsed. Okay, there's been no time that has elapsed. And that is a ratio variable which is continuous. Next, is there a significant change in depression scores from pre-test to post-test? So again, what is being measured? Depression scores. So that is the dependent variable. And we believe that time, whether the test is taken in pre-test or whether the test is taken in the post-test, is going to influence depression scores. So time is going to be our independent variable. And we have pre-test and post-test. So pre comes before post. So this is going to be an ordinal variable. Well, pre is 0 and post-test is 1. Depression scores are the interval variable, where the scale of the scores is 0 to 10. Okay, and 0 does not mean that you have no depression. It just means that you have not registered the appropriate level of depression for this test to be categorized as greater than 0 on this test. Okay, so 0 or depression scores is going to be an interval variable which is continuous. Are SAT scores similar across 5 regions of the US? SAT scores is the thing that is being measured, so it is the dependent variable. Regions is what we believe is going to influence SAT scores. So regions is the nominal variable because regions can be classified as north, east, south, west, and the numbers are just labels. Okay. Here we have region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but region 5 could be region 1. There's no specific order there, so it's nominal. These numbers are simply a label. And then SAT scores, again, it's a type of test, so it's going to be interval because the 0 is inconsequential or has no meaning. And you can set the scale to any starting point. All right. Is there a gender and ethnicity effect on math scores? What is being measured? Math scores. So math scores is the dependent variable. And again, since this is a test or measure, then it's going to be interval. What do we believe is going to affect math scores? Gender and ethnicity. So gender is the independent variable, and ethnicity is also the independent variable, where you have Asian, Black, Hispanic, and white. And both of these are nominal because the numbers serve as labels. Okay? Are there changes in fear of statistics scores among the pre-test, post-test, and 3-month follow-up group? So what is being measured? Fear of statistics. And what do we believe is going to affect fear of statistics? Scores. And that's time. So again, time is the ordinal variable because there's an order to time. And fear of statistics is the assessment or scale that is being measured. And again, assessments and scales and surveys are always going to be interval, unless it's time or something that has an absolute 0. All right. Are there gender differences in fear of statistics scores across pre-test, post-test, and 3-month follow-up? So we have two independent variables here. We believe that gender is going to influence fear of statistic scores, and we believe that time is going to influence fear of statistic scores, and that gender is nominal and time is ordinal. And fear of statistics, again, is interval. And finally, is there an association between participation in a rehabilitation program and second arrest for first-time criminals? All right. So what do we believe? 3, 2, 1. All right. So what do we believe is happening here? We believe that whether or not you participate in a rehabilitation program is going to affect whether you are arrested a second time. So participation in the rehabilitation program is the independent variable, where 1 is yes and no is 0. And then second arrest is what we believe is being influenced by participation in the rehabilitation program. And 1 is yes and no is 0. So typically whenever we have a situation where we have a dichotomous variable, where we have two options, dichotomous, and 1 is yes or one of the answers is yes and the other one is no, then we typically assign the no to 0, because no is the absence of participation or the absence of something. And here, for second arrest, no is the absence of being arrested or not being arrested. Okay? And again, these are both nominal and categorical.